welcome to this episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Old with your hosts, Mark and Sam. Hi, Sam.
Hello there.
So, this is a Daisy. My choice, the last one we covered was Edward Scissorhands, right? And this one was my choice, and I've spun off the career of Alan Arkin, and I've picked Grosse Pointe Blank. So, yes, quite an unusual kind of film in some ways. But it's, yeah. So what was your general thoughts on Grosse Pointe Blank?
Well, it's weird because going in, you told me that this was an assassin movie, and there's a like gunfights in it, and I was like, okay, so it's like a sort of 90s John Wick sort of thing.
Yeah, and it's not.
And it's really not that. It's like a sort of 90s comedy movie. With John Cusack and Minnie Driver as doing a bit of rom-com, and occasionally Dan Aykroyd shows up and there's a gunfight.
Yes. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
And it's got like, even though it's made in 1997, it's got a massive 80s vibe in the music.
Yeah.
Right? And that's
there's so much music. Like they'll play about 10 seconds of one and then roll into the next one. It's like, oh yeah, we'll go Under Pressure, then we'll go like Walk Like an Egyptian, then Whip It. And it's like, okay. So
yeah. There's all sorts. I mean, I'd forgotten how deep it goes with its soundtrack. There's relatively obscure jam tracks in there. They only play for 10 seconds, like Tales from the Riverbank, which is not a famous jam track, right? Things like that. And there's loads more. It's really hard. And I did notice at the beginning credits, it says soundtrack by Joe Strummer. You know, the guy from the Clash. He must have compiled a list for them or something. I mean, there is quite a bit of Clash in this as well. But it's kind of, it's an odd, interesting sort of mix. I'm trying to find a webpage telling me. Oh, yeah, I think I found one.
Just on the Wikipedia.
Oh, it's on the wiki. Okay. So. Yeah, and it's got lots of characters you kind of know from other stuff when they were older, right? Hank Azaria, things like that.
Well, Hank Azaria was already like famous as The Simpsons. They've been going for about 10 years at that point, 8 years.
Oh, okay, all right. So the one that I completely forgot was in here that made me laugh was Live and Let Die. I believe
a weird cover.
Yeah, Guns N' Roses cover, I think, and then it went into a music. When he basically was walking across the car park to the full version, and as he walked into a convenience store, he went into a music kind of version, which made me laugh a lot. I want to get that version because it's so terrible. But yeah, a lot of British music as well. I mean, The Cure, Adam Ant, Bowie. And there was a couple of Bowie ones. Oh, no, one was used in the trailer. Modern Love was used in the trailer. And Under Pressure was used in the film. So, it was... I possibly misrepresented this. That's kind of what I remembered, you see. And I thought I hadn't watched it for 20-odd years. But actually, when I did my Letterboxd review, which I did this morning, I noticed I'd watched it in 2018 and just completely forgot I'd watched it. And I think the reason is my memory of it now is exactly what I think it would have been in 2018. In that nothing's really changed in some respects. It's kind of what it is. What was there anything you didn't like about it?
It's more a case of it's not really something I didn't like about it. It's more a case of like it wasn't too funny. Like that. That's my main real criticism. Like it's okay.
I'd agree with that. I'll tell you what I did like about what I did appreciate about it. It threw me off a bit, but what I did appreciate is it was unpredictable. Like every scene, I thought, oh, it's going to turn out like this, and it doesn't. Almost every scene subverts your expectations. Like there's one bit he faces off against the old school bully, right? I think it's the old school bully, and you think he's just going to like punch him in the face or something because he's like a trained assassin who takes people out. But in fact, he just talks to him and kind of gets under his skin and sort of makes him open up. That made me laugh. It just made me laugh.
Is that the car salesman?
No, the other guy, the blonde haired guy with the mustache, who was saying, all I see is a blank when he comes in, you know, because he's John Cusack. Basically, let's talk about the car. Yeah, John Cusack is Martin Blank, Minnie Driver. I've forgotten her name, to be honest. Debbie, that's
Debbie
it.
Newberry.
are the main two characters, but we also get Joan Cusack as like his controller. Who I think is fabulous. She is terrific in it. She's like one of them stain sealers. She's got such 90s clothes on. At one point, she's like got I don't know. It's like almost like an artillery Fusilier's jacket, almost like designed for women. I think at one point doesn't John Cusack call her Adamant or something like that?
Yeah, these two constantly like shit talk each other throughout the movie whenever they're talking.
And it's very fun. And of course, we've got Alan Arkin as the put upon psychiatrist who really doesn't want this man as a patient.
Yeah,
because he's an assassin, and it's funny that he just tells everyone, "Oh yeah, I'm a professional killer." And like hardly anyone picks up on it, right?
People just sort of go like, haha, yeah, sure. And then just carry on. And then it comes to a point, it's like, towards the end of the film, he killed someone in front of, like, Debbie. She's like, what the fuck did you just do? It's like, I've been saying I'm an assassin the entire time. And then he kind of talks about how he's got low-level sociopathy. But, like...
Yeah, he does. Yeah, basically, when he was recruited in the army, like aptitude test showed he had a certain. I think he called it moral flexibility. Made him suitable to be an assassin, so they trained him up as an assassin. And then finally, he's gone private. And who's on his ass all the time is Dan Aykroyd, his grocer, who's another assassin who basically wants to unionize to keep the cost up, or keep the prices up. But he doesn't. He's not interested. But Grocer won't take no for an answer. And whenever they meet, it's like they might kill each other, right?
Yeah,
they're both quite cagey. And it's kind of fun. Yeah, it's it's a quirky film, isn't it? It's almost like a mumblecore kind of film, but with assassins and John Cusack.
Yeah.
What did you think of the relationship between Debbie and Martin?
It was okay. It was mostly them just kind of being snarky with each other, and then it's like, at the end they do actually like each other. So
yeah, I thought it worked really well myself. I thought you could feel the chemistry. It kind of definitely worked for me. Minnie Driver was super cute, and she was giving as good as she got off of him. I like at one point they were kissing. She goes, no, wait, there's something wrong. There's something missing, and she slaps him hard across the face, and then goes, that was it. She obviously. Yeah.
I like how everyone everyone genuinely was affected by him. Part of his backstory is he disappeared like about 10 years prior to join the army and then go
literally disappeared.
Like just up and disappeared on prom night. And everyone genuinely missed him. Like there's like just like, holy shit, Martin Blanc? Oh my god, it's been years. Like they just sort of go over their lives. And like, there's even a bit where there's this like car salesman who's like just high as a kite the entire film. He keeps offering people blow, and Paul. He just ends up hugging him, and he just sort of quite tenderly just goes, "I missed you, man."
Yeah,
oh,
kind of sweet. Jeremy Piven plays that character. I like their relationship, and I also like at one point he wants to talk to what I think was probably the most popular girl in their year, and she kind of blanks him. But then we see them dancing later, and I thought that was going to end up with you seeing them kind of kissing and going off with each other. But they don't do that. And this film constantly doesn't deliver standard film tropes, and it's kind of refreshing. I do like Alan. What do you think of Alan Arkin in this?
Like that was very funny.
Yeah, that was the funniest bit.
The whole like bit of just like, just please leave me alone. I don't want you as my patient. Like, but we got a regular appointment. It's like, no, I told you to stop coming here. Please don't do this again.
Yeah, and he goes, I know where you live. And he goes, see, you're threatening me. He goes, no, I was kidding. He goes, no, I wasn't even thinking it. He goes, no, you must have thought of it to say that. You have thought of it. He's constantly stressed.
He calls him up later, and the doctor's just sort of like stood at the other side of his room listening to the voice message as he's recording it.
And he goes and lies down.
Yeah, he goes and he just lies down, and then later on, the guy's Mr. Frank is like, "Yeah, doc, I'm gonna have to attack you as my my like physician." He's like, and he's like struggling to just get the message hung up
because he's treating someone else.
Yeah, he's treating someone else. So,
I like how Dr. Oatman, Alan Arkin, constantly saying, no, try not killing anyone. See if it makes you feel different about things and stuff like that. Yeah, and as I say, Jane Cusack, it's almost like cameo in some ways. She just pops in and out whenever he needs some info, right? And passes it to him on computer, and she's
almost like
I like at one point
in like the Warriors or Bullet Train, where they've got like the voice on the radio, and you never really see that much of her.
Yeah, she's great in this, Jane Cusack. I think really good. I think the whole cast pretty solid, actually. But the leads in particular. Now, I had a weird what the hell at one point when he walks into the convenience store. Did it remind you of any other films?
No, what?
Honestly, I thought bloody hell. No, what I was thinking as soon as I saw it is they just copied the set of Clerks. It looks like Clerks.
Clerks just looks like every convenience store.
Yeah, it's probably that, but it did strongly remind me of Clerks, and there was no other references along those lines. There was nothing to indicate that, but it just really reminded me of Clerks. And the little Spanish assassin guy. There was when they have a fight out in the Kmart in the convenience store, and the server's just playing Doom. Doesn't realise there's a massive gunfight going on behind him because he's playing Doom with headphones. And then he's put plastic explosives in the microwave, hasn't he?
Like there's so much just like they use so much like kitchen equipment to kill people.
Yes. This film's famous for death by ball pen. It's kind of famous for that, and it is fun. And I hadn't noticed.
We had a gun with the TV being the more famous, more like distinct kill.
Yeah, I mean it is a distinct kill, but there's all sorts of other ways they kill people in it. But the main one, I mean, there's a bit where he tries to poison the guy because he's meant to look like a heart attack, and he's running poison down a wire hanging over his mouth, which is out of James Bond, isn't it? That's in You Only Live Twice.
Well, that's apparently like an old ninja trick.
Yes, yes. So he blows that. That's kind of leads into all these what happens because he has to just go shoot him rather than make it look like an accident. He then is in debt to the people that arranged it, who are pissed off at him to go do another job, which he keeps putting off because it's near where it's in Grosse Pointe or near
where he grew up, and he's going back to he's being basically pushed into going back to his reunion for. So.
Yeah, there's lots of scenes in this that don't need to be there for the narrative drive, but are kind of cool. Like he goes back to his old school and he runs into an old teacher and they have a bit of a conflab, don't they? And she says, "Where are you going now?" And he goes, "Home, I'm going home." And the next we see him pull up and go, "What the fuck?" Just looking at something. And then it's the convenience store. Was it Ultimart? So his family home has gone. And then he goes visits his mother, who's obviously some sort of dementia.
Something to that effect, to the point where she literally forgets who he is mid-conversation.
She goes, you're a good-looking man, and things like that. And she starts talking to him about, I've talked to your father last week. He goes, no, I don't think you did. And then we see him go and visit his father's grave. He's been dead a number of years, and he just pours a bottle of whiskey onto the grave, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And he doesn't say anything. Again, it's a movie that subverts expectations. You know, usually you get a bit of monologuing on a scene like that, but none of that in this. It just moves on. And they keep bumping into people we've got no context for, other than we know that they know him from high school. And they just have a chat about stuff we know nothing about, and then go off and do their thing. Like a drunk woman turns up when him and Debbie are in a diner kind of place and just takes over the conversation, and Martin just leaves. Also, it's funny that when they first meet, she's kind of there, they kiss, and then she makes him sit down and do a radio interview.
Yeah, basically, she basically goes on air and is like, okay, so what should he do to make her up to me? And just has like a whole like group of people calling in to be like, he shouldn't get a second chance. Like you should just like ditch that man. It's like, oh, he'd have to jump through every single hoop ever. You'd have to refund the prom dress. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah. She just made a point. That was a $700 prom dress.
Yeah.
Back in 1987. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
We also get to meet her father, who is kind of mad at Martin for standing her up.
Yeah.
But he says, "What are you doing now?" And he goes, "I'm a professional killer." And he goes, "It's a growth business. Good choice."
Yeah.
And now I was thinking, I know that guy from somewhere. He's probably been in loads of things. I was thinking, is that Ferris Bueller's dad? But it isn't him. I'm pretty sure it's not him. He just got that similar vibe, and he's older as well. So it just kind of. But all through this film, there's all this music. There's the bangles. There's a lot of British ska. You know, like Mirror in the Bathroom and the Specials, and. Message to You, Rudy. There's Echo and the Bunny. There's just loads. There's just so much. I'm trying to think of some of the others, but there were White Lines. We hear quite a long bit of White Lines, don't we, Melly Mel?
Yeah.
At the prom. Yeah, it was a fun kind of lively film. I even heard some Motorhead at one point. There was Ace of Spades.
It's just started blasting Ace of Spades for like 20 seconds, and then
and they were so short. Each of the things was so short. We hardly got any of the music. It's funny. I heard 99 Red Balloons in German as well.
Yeah,
that was playing. So you didn't think it was a great film then, but
it was like sweeping me away. But if someone like to ask my opinion, I was like, yeah, it's a fun film.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah,
and I did laugh because when I posted the letterbox, I noticed someone else's review. They said, Martin Blank should have cameoed in John Wick 4, and that would have totally fitted actually in John Wick 4 because it was kind of crazy, right?
Yeah. So I actually had a look at the Debbie's dad's sort of like what he's been in. He's kind of just skirted past every single like a lot of his roles are like bit parts in films that we've watched. So like he was in Judge Dredd. He was in Hot Shots. Wow. He was in he was in all sorts. He's in Magnum Force, for example.
Okay, so we probably if we
have seen him and stuff, but he's never a main character. So
he just looks familiar. He's got a familiar look to him, hasn't he? I was kind of pleased that this linked in because I've been meaning to rewatch this for some time. But when I saw Alan Arkin was in the cast, and I didn't remember him at all from the first time I saw it or the second time even. But his segments are actually kind of the most memorable in some ways, aren't they?
Yeah.
I guess the memorable ones are the fights, the pen death. And I like how he gets his mate to just help him wrap up this corpse and go throw him in the furnace.
Yeah, they just start pulling banners down. It's like, okay, grab that. And they just start taping it up.
Don't worry, he's a bad guy. He's a bad guy, don't worry. And I like how Grosser keeps harassing the NSA agents. That's the bad guy. Go get him. Because, look, we can't get him until he does something bad. And they even have a sort of philosophical discussion at one point. He goes, why don't we just do what he does? He goes, because he's a bad guy. We're good guys. If we catch him doing bad stuff and we stop him, we're the good guys. And he's going, I like being a good guy. And it goes on like that.
Yeah.
There's lots of weird little scenes like that. Although it's a quirky film, isn't it, really, in some respects. And it seems, honestly, it feels like it's earlier than 1997, mainly because it's a nostalgia film, right?
Yeah.
It's actually been nostalgia for 10 years before. But to us, 97 ain't that far from at this point in time. 97, 87 ain't that distinct, is it? I suppose.
No.
And it does, in many respects, feel like an early 90s film rather than a late 90s film. Was there any standout bits you liked, or anything we haven't discussed yet?
Nothing that we've not already talked about.
I like the Dan Aykroyd. Just whenever they interact, like at one point they interact on because he's got a hit to stop an assassination, but Dan Aykroyd turns up and kills everyone anyway, and then they meet on like a grassy knoll, and you can tell they're both skittish about shooting each other.
Yeah.
And then the same thing happens.
Dan Aykroyd always instigates it. He's always just like, are we going to get each other? Is it going to be this time?
And at the end, I like how confident Dan Aykroyd is when they finally storm the house. He acts like, I'm bulletproof. I'm not going to die. And at one point they're shooting it, and for some reason they join in with shooting the NSA guys. The NSA guys finally try and take out Martin Blank, and Martin Blank shoots them, but Danny Boy shoots them too. He kind of is gleefully happy about shooting loads of guys. And then they both run out, turn on each other fire, but they're both out. And he goes, "Are you empty? I'm empty." And he just smiles at him like, "Eee." And then he goes, look, should we just agree to work together? Go cap Dad upstairs and go and have a drink. Yeah. He's really relaxed about the whole thing.
Yeah. Blake's he's like, nah, I'm emotionally involved now.
I'm emotionally involved. I should have mentioned, we find out the hit he's been given is Debbie's dad, because Debbie's dad testified against some bad guy. That's the gist of it. I think it's one line mentions that. Otherwise, you don't know why they're after Debbie's dad. You think, is he a shady bastard?
He's a bad guy. So.
Yeah. No, he was testifying against someone, so that's fair. And he says at one point, this is the most outright comedy line in the whole thing. At one point he says to Debbie, "I know it's a bad time, but will you marry me?" And the dad kind of looks up and says, "You have my blessing," after he saved his life. That's that's probably the most direct bit of comedy we hit, actually. And I like how freaked out Minnie Driver is through the whole last act. She's just off her head, like, what is going on?
Completely out of her depth.
And old Martin Blank's bleeding everywhere and all sorts. But I also like the fact he's got this massive case of like killing equipment, which he doesn't seem to use. Right?
No, he just kind of basically uses pistols and knives.
Yeah. He basically likes playing two-handed pistols. They obviously watch some John Woo or something, and it's two-handed pistols. It's not a great shot. It just blasts away. It's not like John Wick,
He just clears out an entire room.
It's just bang, 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 bang. It's all that. It's kind of a lively film, and it doesn't outstay its well. Do you feel it was about right lengthwise?
Yeah, it's about right lengthwise. So
now you kind of end up with each other. That feels about right.
Yeah, they like drive off into the sunset, basically. So
I also liked all the jokes. Like he said, "Can you be my date at the reunion?" He goes, "Well, are you going to turn up?"
Yeah.
And she's giving him shit.
It's like they absolutely do not let up on each other. It's like,
there's none of that. And he's contrite, and he's trying to learn, isn't he? But he really does not care about all these people he kills. Yeah. That's the thing. He does not care. So a kind of a fun film, and a nice setting, decent cast. Unexpected in many ways. The script was quite unusual, and apparently, when they sent him the script, John Cusack the script, he saw it and he said 132 pages. He says, "Look, I'm not doing anything over 100 pages." Then they did a rewrite and it came in at 150 pages. So it was kind of tricky. Sorry, the director said, "I'm not doing anything over 100 pages." I think, which is fair enough. I think it's just fine. And apparently they shot different versions of it. The script, a slightly more muted version, and then a massively over the top version. And then they decided to cut from that. So they kind of had different choices with that. It was kind of interesting. Okay. I don't think there's much more to say then. Should we rate it?
Oh, yeah, sure. So this would be about a 7 or an 8 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, I'll give it a straight 7. On the higher end for me, it's closer to an 8 than a 6. But I think it's a pretty decent film. It's not like a near classic or anything like that. Yeah. It's one worth watching once, I'd say, for sure. Yeah. I quite like watching it now and again, but maybe every 8 or 9 years. Not every year. It's not that kind of film, but it is. I think it's a quirky, surprising film, and while I've watched it twice already, this will be my third time, it still surprised me. I forgot certain elements because we're so used to certain film tropes, like when he meets the bully, gets alone with him, and you think the bully's going to try and intimidate him, and he's just going to take him out. Doesn't work out like that. The bully starts reading poetry. And John's going, "Oh no, that's too rich now. I can't take them all. Just skip to the end." That's perfect. Yeah, that's all that. So solid movie. So This is a Daisy. So the next choice will be yours based off this car. So you've got a few choices.
Okay, so I actually have already picked it.
Oh, have you? Well, let's not tell anyone. Let's wait till we come back next time. So, okay, let's wind up there. So, bye from me.
Bye.